Welcome back to Black Talk. This is Volume 1, Episode 3, coming to Black America. My name is Alana Washington, also known as Alana Lovely, and I am one of your lovely co-hosts.
My name is Gabriel Bright. I am a freshman, currently majoring in political science. Happy to be here.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Josh Weeks. It's also known as Josh from the Five, whatever y'all comfortable with. But yeah, I'm a senior as well. I'm majoring in communications and a minor in business.
I'm Hanna. I'm a sophomore majoring in microbiology and minoring in Spanish.
Hi, I'm JaRen. I'm a junior majoring in architectural engineering from St. Louis, Missouri, and yeah.
And she's the BSU president. Period. Okay, so first, I'm going to tell you the goal of Black Talk. We really just want to give minorities a voice here on campus. We want you guys to feel comfortable with us, and we also want to broadcast different events here on campus. So if you have an event that you want us to plug, make sure you give it to us. So first, we're going to get into a little bit of cultural news. Okay, I know we already talked about this, but I want to bring up the Popeyes chicken sandwich again because it's a part 2 and it's back out. Has anyone went yet?
I still haven't been. That was ridiculous.
I've never had it.
I never had it.
I'm not gonna have it.
Yeah.
I haven't.
I don't. I saw someone do a tutorial on Instagram on how to make it. So
Yeah,
I saw that too.
But
I saw that too, and I love to cook, so I'm really about to do that. I haven't been back though. Like, I went the first time it came out, and it's fire. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's good, but like, I haven't been back, and I think just because the hype is gone now, I don't even want it no more.
And somebody's
I
gone out of
seen-
control.
I love chicken sandwiches, but I just feel like it's overhyped. And like, I seen somebody posting it with like maggots and stuff in it, and that did it for
That's
me.
trifling.
I was like, I'm cool off it.
What did it for me is when someone got killed.
someone got killed?
Somebody got
stabbed.
They like cut the line or something.
I
Yeah.
seen people parking in the grass and stuff. Like, I was like, okay, y'all doing too much.
when I heard about people bringing their own chicken, I was over it. I was like, okay.
What's the point?
I was like, what are you getting from Popeyes? I don't understand.
I agree. Like, the only thing that I don't like about everything, it seems like they just saying that black people are the only people tripping over this sandwich, and that is false because, look, I went to Popeyes in Lawrence, Kansas when it first came out, and when I tell you it was only me, my friend, about 2 other black people in there, and the whole lobby was full, so, like, I just don't want it to be like, it was literally an article in the New York Times, and it was like the Popeyes chicken sandwich is bringing a crisis for African Americans, and I'm like, what?
I saw that, but that was written by a black man.
Yes,
so.
exactly. But that's the thing, like, it's not, I'm not saying that white people are saying, I'm saying, like, it's us, like, we don't know how to act. Like, we do know how to act. Like, it's not just us.
I feel like where it comes from is like the black people is the ones that people see like doing the bad stuff. Like, because everybody's probably rushing to get the sandwich, but like the black people is the ones like taking it above and beyond, bringing their own chicken, stabbing people. Like,
I feel like that's Black Twitter that only showed that. I saw a recent video, it was 2 white men fighting in line. Like, they in the drive-thru. They in the drive-thru throwing heads. So I'm like, don't do it. It's Black Twitter though. It really is Black Twitter. Black
I
Twitter
only have
has
Black
everything.
Twitter on my Twitter, so
Right.
I don't see
Yeah.
nothing.
I don't see that.
I don't see any other world.
I feel like black people like really make whatever is popping at the time, we make it poppin'. Like, we hype up whatever is gonna be hot, and like everybody else just follows along. So I do see where they're coming from when they say like African American crisis or something, but we just affect the whole world. We're trendsetters.
Facts.
If black people boycotted all this stuff, the
Right.
world would end.
Okay, if we just
Yeah, but we don't have to when you remember that Gucci stuff. Like,
Oh,
that
yeah.
lasted like a month.
Yeah.
Everybody back wearing
Who was it that was on the red carpet? The baby he had on that Gucci
Yeah.
outfit. Somebody quoted it. It was like, "I see the Gucci band didn't last long." I was like,
Yeah.
Most of everything is really just a trend, to be honest. Well as Black Twitter. Well, this ain't even just Black Twitter. This is Twitter all worldwide. This is trending like on Twitter, and it's talking about T.I. And he was on a podcast. I feel like they're kind of like misconstruing his words, like, but basically the big headline is like T.I. says he visits the gynecologist with his daughter to ensure that she's still a virgin.
I just seen that today.
"How old is she?"
she's 18 right now.
Oh.
But
that's still not.
Yeah, that's not cool.
But like, I thought she was like older.
He crazy though, like,
Yeah,
it's really daddies out there like that though, for real. But like, I feel like you should have certain boundaries. Like, you have to be a certain amount of strict and lenient with the kid for them to turn out right. I feel like, because too strict of a parent creates a sneaky kid, and like
I
too
got some cousins
lenient,
like that.
yeah, too lenient of a parent and make like your kid is out here doing whatever, you know. So like, you gotta have a good balance.
Yeah, I feel like his wife, or Tiny, I think that's his girl's name. She should be the one like going there with him, or he could be feeding off. She could be feeding off the information to him about what's going on with his daughter. Like, I don't feel like him feeling like he needs to check on that himself. I feel like that's kind of weird.
And I've always wondered, how do they check that?
well,
What do they do?
he was like looking at her hymen, but like that can be broken if
Other
you did
ways.
other
You could be doing
ways.
gymnastics.
Yeah, but he said in a quote, he was like, she don't play no sports, she don't ride no horses, blah blah blah. And then he was like, he told the doctor like to just tell him if it's broken or not. So like, I don't know.
That's invasive.
It's so
That's
weird.
It's
really invasive.
That's so weird.
It's invasive, but also my thing is I don't know their relationship. Like, I don't know if she's comfortable with him doing it or not. Like, I don't know I don't know if he's forcing it upon her. If she's like, okay, daddy, let's go. Like, it's time for my apartment. Like, they might have that mutual agreement. So, I don't know. I feel like that's a little weird. I don't talk about stuff like that with my dad. I talk to my mom. Like, me and my mom have a very open relationship when it comes to, like, talk about sex and stuff. And I feel like that's good. That's good to have that relationship with your child. But it shouldn't be like, you shouldn't be having sex. Let me check. Like, that. Do you do that with your son?
You probably
No,
applaud
not
that.
at all.
You probably definitely applaud that.
Yeah. That's
See, I be wilding anyway. Like, how you gonna be out here wilding and then you text your daughter trying to check on?
That's facts, especially how much he be cheating and acting a fool. I was like,
Tiny. I was like, oh my gosh.
I don't know. That makes me think though, because like, when it comes to my daughter, I wouldn't be like, okay, you can't have sex by this age, but like, I would definitely treat her to, you know, respect yourself and, you know, make sure you're ready before you have sex. With my son, I'm not just gonna be like, oh yeah, do what you want either. Like, I'm gonna have some type of boundaries for both of them, but I do definitely feel like it is a double standard. Like, I don't know if I would be as like, I don't know if my son came to me and was like, I lost my virginity, I would be like, you lost your virginity? Like, I feel like I would be like emotional both ways.
I did that when my brother told me. My little brother, he's 16. I was like, but it wasn't emotional. I was like, no. He's just doing too much. He's out here wilding. I hope my parents don't watch this because I'm like, oh, I done told on you. Oops. But when my parents talked to me about it, it was kind of just like, they had like the sex talk and I was like, I don't know, 10. And then it was always, as I got older, they were like, well, when you're thinking about it, let us know so we can get you on birth control. Because my parents hate kids, so. There was that.
When I got on birth control, my mom legit cried. Like, she cried. She was like, oh my God, you're growing up. I was like, Mama, can you like not do this with me? Like, it's not
I
that
never
big of a
really
deal.
had a talk with my parents. Like, I don't know, they weren't really as open about it. But when I moved with my daddy when I was 13. Like, I just feel like we were close now, but a dad raising a daughter is different than a mom raising, you know. So we didn't really talk about it a lot. And my mom did like talk about me getting on birth control and stuff, but he was like, that's just a free pass for her to go do whatever she wanted to do. So he didn't really believe in that. So I didn't get on birth control until I got here.
That's what a lot of people say, like a free pass, but
Hey,
it's better.
safe
Look,
than
it's
sorry.
better.
protected. Period.
I was supposed to tell my parents, but I told my mom, and I was like, yeah, like I'm kind of ready to get on birth control. She was like, okay, like if you tell your dad, like we can go. And I was like, okay, never mind. I literally said never mind, and I just left it alone. And then like 2 weeks later, because she's friends with a doctor, and she like told her friend, and she was like, she was like, we're gonna go ahead and just get you on it, because she pointed out to me that you're just gonna do it anyway, so I'm gonna go get you on it. I was like, well.
I didn't have no conversation with my dad. I was like, Mom, you just go ahead and pass that along. Just let him know what's going on. I feel like that's very uncomfortable. Hey, Dad, I'm about to get on birth control.
I don't know if it's just me, but my dad, when he's talking about sex, it's just so like brute and rough. Like, and I'm just not like talking about sex, but he'd be like, yeah, and if somebody tries to not use a condom, you gotta. I'm like, oh my God, like calm down. He just gets so like. passionate, and I'm like, oh my god.
I mean, that's good though. At least he talks to you about it.
No, but it's like a scary passion. Like,
That's how my daddy is too, but we just don't talk about that type of stuff. He just be really passionate about a lot of stuff. He gets yelling.
No, he gets to yelling, and I'm like, why are you yelling?
I have a question for the guys. Like, how would you handle if your daughter like came to you about birth control and sexual advice, protection?
First of all, I'm okay with her getting on birth control. Like, if she comes to me, telling me she's sexually active, I'm gonna demand birth control. I'm not been raising no extra kids, like, you feel me, or supporting that, like, right at that moment. But I feel like I'll be in supportive of y'all. First of all, I mean, I feel like you can't just push her away. I feel like that's a bad way to break that relationship. So I feel like in order to strengthen or keep that relationship going with your daughter, I feel like talking to her about it, being comfortable talking to her about it, is key to keeping things smooth with that relationship.
I would agree with Josh, but I grew up in a household that was more faith-based and more Christ-like. So for all my kids, you know, it's gonna be you know, no fornication, stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, I don't know how I would deal with that as a father. You know, I don't have any kids right now, so I don't know what I would do now. But at the same time, if I found out about it, like, I don't know what I would do, but I do know that that's going to be the standard. You got to wait until you're married. That's what I'm doing right now, which is, you know, it's an unpopular opinion. You know, you can think what you want to think, but you know, like, I appreciate the support, but you know, that's
but
that's
not
just the
everyone
life.
is supportive.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do.
I was raised to think that way. We are a faith-based family, but I didn't follow through. Life is life. Like, I'm gonna be real. It's nothing wrong with having that mentality. I think that's a good mentality. But like, I would tell my kids, like, you know, we encourage you to wait till marriage. But if you not,
That's my parents.
come talk to me.
That's exactly what my parents did.
I think that's good.
Yeah, like,
That's
so
how my
you
parents
know.
was too. So what were you gonna say?
My grandma, she's like very into church. Like, she's very good Christian lady. She just thinks she's a saint. So like, she's for real. But she be always like, I hope you're still saving yourself. And then I just be like, yeah, grandma. Like, but like, my parents aren't really like, they know what's going on. Like, it's okay. Like, and I feel like it's kind of hard for you to, especially like just in today's generation. So I remind you.
Oh, it's hard, alright. It is.
Okay.
Moving on.
No, but I grew up in like a real like faith. Like, we go to church every single Sunday, but even people in my church, not all. You know, you got the real older ladies like, but like my family's always been that family like, you know, you should try, but they really never even talked about that you should try. They were just like, if you want to, talk to them. Yeah, it was always like that.
My dad's a pastor, so I mean, like,
Really?
what's weird is like we never really had that talk like about like how to handle sex. Like, I just always just knew how it was. Like, always wear a condom. I feel like I learned that in school.
In school,
Yeah, so like it was just like, you know, just if you're gonna do it, be safe while you're doing it.
That's all they say to boys, and that's something I wish like would be different. I feel like for girls, like, they talk so much about like so many different things, but like for guys, it's just like, here's a box of condoms. Make sure you buy them when you run out. Like that. Like, that's what my dad does for my little brother. Like, and it's just real. It's just so different.
Has anyone listened to the Kanye West album yet?
Yes.
You listened to it?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I liked a few songs.
I ain't listened to it. Did you like
Yeah, I
it?
listened to it. I thought it was cool. Like, I feel like he was trying to, you know, deliver a specific message and also, like, you know, kind of raise more awareness of Christianity and how that is. You know, a lot of people kind of were bringing his past into it, and I think trying to, like, you know, kind of dictate how the album is, how it's related to a cult and stuff like that. But I feel like he was overall trying to deliver a positive message, despite all the things he's been, you know, accused of or has done, especially in the media and stuff like that. But I think it was overall a good album.
I think he did a good job at delivering the message. Actually, Fox News reported that I guess the Google search of what do Christians believe has like skyrocketed.
Oh.
I don't remember how by like what percent, but I think he's done a good job. So shout out to him, and hopefully the people searching that up find the good results, not the bad stuff. So
Yeah. I feel, my bad.
No, you can
I
go.
feel like, I don't know, like, I have mixed feelings about Kanye because, like, I just can't take him serious. Like, he's just too iffy for me. But, like, I do like some things that he's doing. Like, we talked about this last time. Like, he's buying land, trying to buy land to, like, create a community and stuff like that. Like, I do think he has smart ideas and good ideas. But It's just some tactics he does. I just
I feel like
agree with.
Yeah, I feel like he's definitely money driven too.
Yeah.
Behind a lot of the stuff he does, even even the album, the Jesus King, the getting a choir and stuff, like taking him on tour, charging $55 for brunch.
And one day I really thought he was scamming the world when he was talking about how slavery was a choice, because I had read something, I don't know if it was Google, Twitter, whatever, and they were talking about how he was like, even though he was saying all this random stuff, he was just saying it to like push. No, not even to get some clout, but to push like actually good things. So like he got close to Trump so that like Kim could work on getting people out of jail and all that. And I was like, okay, I see that argument, but then I also see him making tons and tons of money off of gospel stuff. I don't really believe in that. I'm not a big supporter of like mega churches where they like sell stuff, because like you're not supposed to sell in the church.
Right.
My church has always said that like if they take any money, it's always like a donation cup. Like you're not supposed to sell in the church, period. So I don't like money related to church. But as far as like the Christian songs, like only reason I haven't listened to that album is because like I don't listen to, like, it takes me so long to listen to albums, but like my boyfriend listened to it, he likes it, he like anything that just sound good, but like he likes it. I personally I don't really look at like the not the meaning behind the song. Like I'll look at the meaning of the song and what it's saying. I don't really think about like his past related to the song, because I take the song how it comes to me. So like if I listen to the words and the words, even if he don't mean them, they mean something to me. So like when I listen to it, if I hear something that I really like, I'll play it. Like I'm not gonna not play it just because it's Kanye,
I was just a little weary of it, just like, what Hanna said, it's hard to like fully rock with him because of everything that he's done. And then, as a Christian, you're supposed to be forgiven. Like everyone has the right to repent. Everyone, has that chance. So if he's really changing his ways, I support that, but I'm just not so open to be like, okay, I'm gonna listen to the album, because a lot of the things like seemed blasphemous to me, like him selling, like JaRen said, like selling merchandise, church clothes, like him having the service and like charging for people to go. Like I feel like that's very like not of God, the way that he's doing it at all. I feel like he's not doing it in the correct way. But if I hear the song and it sound good, I'll play it. I'm very weary of that. Like, there's a lot of messages that can be hidden in music, and you think you're listening to the right thing, and it's not, and it's actually like a hidden message in there. So I was just weary of doing it, just because I don't want to come in contact with anything that's not of God, and it's very easy to do that over sound waves. So
I take the music as it is. I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to music, I am not a deep searcher. I really like the beats and how it sounds. Like I'm really not big on like it'll take me like a whole year to be like, oh, that's what they said. And I don't know, but I haven't downloaded. But if I hear it and I like it, I just search it every time. I won't hit the little plus. There you go.
I feel you. I feel sorry for Kanye, for real. Like, I don't have no hate towards him. I feel like Kanye West lost his mind, literally.
No, yes. He
went
crazy.
I feel like he went crazy, especially after his mother died, and like he was just really, really popping off, and then he was left in the music industry by himself. Like, that can really turn you crazy. Like, he probably didn't know how to manage everything. His faith probably shifted because money was involved. So I really just feel like he's lost. So I'm gonna pray for you, Kanye.
I don't know.
But one thing about him is like he does not care about what people think about him. Like that's good and all, but like he just too much for me. So I don't really keep up with him.
He doesn't have a good black woman to hold him down.
That's facts. He lost his mama and he lost everything. That was probably his black woman that kept him in shape. So that's facts. I know that you wanted to talk about Rodney Reed.
Rodney Reed, yeah, I don't know too much about him, but I do know like his execution date is the 22nd, or that's when it's supposed to be. So
it's coming up this month.
So what is it?
So
I've seen
I
that.
can get like
really
a
read
yeah,
it.
you go ahead.
So for BSU, we did like the Big 12 conference. The reason I know a little bit about it is because the Texas schools that come to conference with us, they like gave us like the whole spiel of everything that was going on. We went to our first planning meeting. I still don't know everything. Y'all know my memory is not all that. But basically, it was a long time ago, like in the 1990s, like towards the end, like maybe like 1996, 97, something like that. He was seeing this woman, a white woman, and she had a fiance, and she ended up dead. and the fiance, not all the evidence, none of the evidence points towards Rodney Reed, and all the evidence pretty much points towards like her fiance, like he withdrew all the money from their account the day she went missing. They found like they never searched her apartment. Like there was a lot of things that either they didn't pursue or like the things just didn't lead to him. The only thing that they have on Rodney Reed is, I believe it was either saliva or seminal fluid found on her, but like that was like his girlfriend. So they're trying to. He's been on, not on trial, but
death row.
Yes, he's been on death row like since this case first happened, like way back when, and his execution date is set for the 22nd or the 23rd, something like that. It's this month.
So they gonna kill him?
Yeah, they're gonna kill him.
And people are trying to.
There's been a lot of rallies. They've had
petitions.
Like the first week of October, there was a lot of different events. They had walks, petitions. They've had ongoing petitions for years, because none of the evidence points toward him. Like none of it. And there was just so much that they didn't. It was also found that the police were drinking on the crime scene, and her fiance is also a police officer. So yeah, so.
At that point in time, if I was a black man, especially at that point in time, I would never have any sexual relations with a white woman, because you're put too much in jeopardy. Like if anything goes wrong, if she says you did anything wrong, if you say she got hurt, you're going to jail. Like.
Talking about then, I'm saying now too.
Right.
Like honestly, like that's not something I would associate myself with. I wouldn't recommend black men associate themselves with. It's dangerous at the end of the day. Like it's like your life, it could be at risk at any moment because of that.
It's crazy because like my mom was white, my daddy black, and I don't even agree with it. Cause like my own family, like my mom's side, my wife's side, they're racist themselves. So like, when my mama, she has like 3 black baby daddies, but she they like treat her differently. Like she's like a black sheep of the family. So like they wouldn't invite her to family gatherings. My nana would like tell her she couldn't bring my brother in there because he was black. It was a lot of stuff going on. So like, I don't know. I just feel like me being white myself, I don't think I'm white, but I have white in me. But like, and I still feel that way towards white people. I feel like, that's crazy for real.
Yeah, I kind of like grew up with like, so like my dad is half white, half Puerto Rican. I don't got no knowledge of the Puerto Rican side. Like his dad died when he was young, so don't ask me to speak no Spanish. I don't know nothing about that. But my white side was real different. Like they're the complete opposite of racist. I think they all think they're black. And I'm real close to them. Like I go to their house every single weekend, everything like that. But my grandma is a white woman, and she will be like, I can't stand white people. I hate white people. My grandma is white, and she hates white people. And the same for like all my family. It's because they grew up in like East St. Louis, Charlie Park to be exact, which is like a real bad part of East St. Louis. If you go to East St. Louis, don't go there. Don't go to East St. Louis. Let's just say that. But they grew up there. Well, my dad grew up there, and so they was always around black people. My grandma always dated black people. Like everyone over there always dated black people. Like they just have always just been. I never just thought like, yeah, they white. I mean, but like they are white, like you see them, but like.
That's exactly how I feel about my mama. Like my mom is totally opposite from her family. I don't know how, but I feel like she's always been like rebellious, and her daddy was like racist, so he was like, don't mess with them type stuff, but she'll go mess with him because he told her not to, So like, I don't look at my mama as white. Like she really acts black. She just kind of.
My white grandma act blacker than my black grandma,
right.
So I never thought of her as white. She'd just be going in, like.
Yeah, and that's very common. Like, that's very common for it to be a white woman, not even a white woman, but a white man who chooses to be with someone of color, and their family literally disowns them, like, literally. So I would just say, like, if you are a black man, especially, just be careful. That's my word. I'm not saying like, because I've said this before on Twitter. I made a tweet and I was like, when I get married, I want to marry a black man. Like that's what I want. And I got attacked for that. Like they was like, so you saying that it shouldn't be interracial couples? And I said, no, that's not what I said. I said I prefer to marry a black man. That's what I want. I want to have black children. I want to teach them to love themselves. Like I want to be with someone who can understand me 100%, because they've been through what I've been through, and it's in their blood. They understand, and I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like just because you are pro-black doesn't mean that you're anti-white.
Yeah, exactly.
if a black girl brings a white man home, like they might at first be like, okay, what the heck? But I mean, eventually they're just gonna be like, all right, John, it's cool. Like, and I just feel like it's a lot of the times it's not the same, and so that's just.
And I feel like that's very interesting.
I
feel like that's very interesting because, like, even after everything that we've been put through as a race, we are still so loving. Like, I don't understand that about us. Like, you know, like, black people are very accepting. Like, you can listen to our music, you can dress like us, you can talk like us, you can be an artist, you can put out an R&B, hip-hop album, we gon' support it. But when Lil Nas was trying to make a country song, these white people was like, hold on, whoa. Like,
he had to get Billy Ray Cyrus to make it go platinum.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think we should change because I feel like that's a great thing about us. The fact that we are so loving, it's in our soul. Like, it's in our hearts. I don't think we could actually change that. But I do think that we need to be a little bit more mindful with, like, just really accepting the fact that, like, we are the culture. And it's okay to claim that. It's okay to be like, okay, this makes me uncomfortable, or I don't want y'all to do certain stuff like this because they do that with us a lot. So
I have no problem with interracial dating. The only time that I feel like there is an issue when a black man is dating a white woman is when the reason that black man is dating that white woman is because they don't want to date black women, or they don't like black women. Like, a lot of times, like, I'll see that men, like, when they make it, or when they get famous, or when they just feel like they got it going on, they want to date a white woman. Like, that is just shows that you got it all going, like, because you're dating this white man. And I don't feel like that's the right way. Like, I support interracial dating. I mean, I'm not doing it. Not like I'm not doing it ever, but like I'm not doing it currently. I don't plan on doing it, but like I don't see a problem with it. I just think there comes a problem when the person themselves is doing it for the wrong reason. Like, especially like white women that like fetishize black men. Like that's another problem that a lot of times people run into. Is like you're dating this black man because of XYZ, not because of him. So, but to take it back to Rodney Reed, I mean, it kind of feels like when you get in situations like this, and we've talked about this so much for like BSU, and just trying to bring like awareness to these issues is just what really can we do? Because it's really easy to get discouraged when you have to face an entire like judicial system, like a justice system, because the fiance is a cop, and that in itself is really what I feel like is ruining like his chances at this point to live. And it takes it back to like, how do people have that much hate? Like, if I was the fiance, like I don't know how he could live with himself knowing that like he 99% sure like killed this woman, and you're just gonna let somebody else not go to jail but like be killed for it, you know?
I think he'll live. I don't think he'll.
I don't know.
I've seen it happen before.
The
where, like,
state, he's in Texas. I don't know. I do not know.
I don't know. It's been a lot of different celebrities, you know, speaking out about it, like plugging the website. You can go to freerodneyreed.com and sign the petition. So please go do that. Please go do that. But, you know, we can't give up. You know, it is hard, you know, to think about all the factors and how he might not make it. But all we can do is continue to fight. We can't just talk about it and not do nothing. So. And to have hope is good. Well, now we're going to get into advocacy news, and we're going to talk about Albert Wilson. And what's crazy is that it identifies a lot with this case that happened years ago. So that's how we can see that as much as we are making advances, it's still problems in our society. But this young man went to the University of Kansas, and that's why we're talking about it. He was 20 years old when the incident occurred. He was at the Hawk, I believe that's what it's called. I ain't been there in so long, y'all. But he was at the Hawk. They both got in illegally. They were both underage. The young woman who's accusing him of the crime was 17 when it happened. They went down to the Boo Moo room. She dragged him down there. He kissed her when they were down, but it was mutual. And then they decided to go back to his home. He claims that they did not have sex. He received a text from his friend and ended up going back to the Hawk, and they walked back together. She claims that they had sex and that he raped her, but there was no seminal fluid or no DNA found on her vaginal swab. The only DNA that they found was the kiss on her neck that he said occurred. Somehow, he went up against an all-white jury, predominantly women, and he was found guilty and is now facing 12 years in jail. And the evidence that they found is that she had PTSD. So that's the only thing on their defense. So that just goes back to the hate that JaRen was saying. Like, there's literally no evidence, and somehow this man is still going to jail. I just want to give a shout out to BSU because in the parade you guys had on your shirts, you can go to www.freealbertwilson.com and learn a little bit more about the case. Does anyone have comments on it?
I think you kind of said everything that was there about the case. So, raise awareness. Definitely check out freealbertwilson.com. Support the movement to try and get him out of jail, because that's crazy how it relates to the Rodney Reed case, and it's 2 black men that are, facing, prison time, or in Rodney Reed's case, death because of his situation with a person of a different race, so specifically white. So
I wonder what possesses people to want to lie about something like that, because that's serious. Like, you're playing with somebody's life for real. Yeah. So and I was thinking maybe her daddy found out and she wanted to cover it up, but how would her dad find out? She's in college and it wasn't the first time she had sex, if they did, or whatever the case may be. But what made you just want to? I feel like it's a setup, you set this up, and what made you what?
They have video, and she said that she was incapacitated, drunk, or something like that, and stumbling, and you can see in the video they walk completely normal. They walk completely normal back 5 minutes later. There's just no case at all.
Yeah, and I think it's that it was guilt. I feel like she left from her friends and she came back and her friends was like, where was you at? And I think she lied. I think she just lied out of an instinct to lie about what she was doing. And then her friend, it was just a lie that she told, and she just didn't want to admit the truth, and it ended up being bigger and bigger. And it's that hate. She didn't want to have to admit that I left the club with a black man. That hurts her to say that, and that's a shame, really. That's really all I have to say about it. Next, we're going to talk about Gina Rodriguez. Does anybody watch Jane the Virgin, or is it just me?
I watched 2 episodes. That show is not good.
It's
not a good show.
Y'all like Jane the Virgin. I'm not even going to judge. I would like to.
I just didn't like it. I don't know.
It's like a telenovela. It's a soap opera. My mama watched soap operas all the time, so that's probably why. That's probably why I like it, because my mama watched that stuff.
ABC Family. They don't got soap opera.
It's what is it on? I don't even know what it is. I'll be watching on Netflix. But basically, she's a Hispanic actress, and she was on her Instagram Live, and she was rapping a song, and she says the N-word. And it was this huge controversy, because she literally was singing the hook, and she's like, da 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 da, and then she stops because she's getting her hair done, and then she comes back on purpose and N-words give me heebie-jeebies.
Yes, okay, I remember.
Yeah, she went out of her way to say the N-word, because she wasn't even talking, but she came back oh, this is my part right here. I'm gonna say
this is her favorite.
Yeah, everything.
They give her heebie-jeebies. Okay, calm down.
And then she got all this hate, and then she came back and was I'm so it was no emotion at all. She was I'm so sorry if I offended anyone. That's just one of my favorite songs, and I'm sorry if I hurt anybody. And it's why did you
why did you say that?
Why did you say it in the first place? And if you gonna give an apology, you are an actress, girl. You know how to act some emotion. You could at least put some emotion in it. It shows that you literally don't care. You said what you said, and that's that.
And you meant it.
Yeah, you meant it. So
they give you heebie-jeebies.
How do you guys feel about other people of color saying the N-word and they're not black?
That's enough for me.
Yeah, I don't agree with it at all.
There's
I feel my bad.
Go ahead. No, you started before me. You started before me.
But I feel like there's a lot of black people who I don't know what's wrong with them, but just maybe they're whitewashed kind of, they're just around white people so much, and those white people around them are saying it. So there are black people who let it slide, and that's the problem. But I don't agree with it at all.
I don't let it slide. Not now. but like when I was in architecture, because I'm an architecture engineer now. When I was in architecture, I had a lot of white friends, cause like you staying up all night with your white friends, getting the project done, whatever. And we would go out, like we went out maybe like 2 or 3 times, and they didn't say it. Like I mean, my white friends was cool, but like we would be out, and I would hear the word, and I would be like this.
You like,
Who said it?
I'm looking around, like I'm just trying to figure out. And then it was only probably one time where I like saw the person who said it, and it was a group of like it was like half white people and like 3 or 4. Well, that's probably not half. It was like white people and then like 3 or 4 black people, and like they were all saying it together. And I was right next to them. I said, "What did you say?" Like, because I'm sitting next to the white person. I was like, "What did you say?" And then the black people that was with them was like, "Oh no, he's cool, he's cool." I said, "No, he's not."
Right.
And I was like, "And clearly you're not either, because they're not supposed to be allowed to say this. Like, it doesn't make sense." And I don't even know where I was. I hope I wasn't at the hog. I don't go to the hog. Probably like the cave or something. But like, it's not okay. Like even people love to say they could say it because it's in the song.
mm-hmm.
And I think what's just so crazy is like, I don't want to keep just saying white people, but like people won't say like the F word, like when it comes to like gay people, they won't say the F word. They won't say like the like the real bad transgender word, trans with the Y, like they won't say that, but like the N word is so cool.
Yeah.
Like white people get so offended about stuff related to like LGBTQ, but they don't want to say anything when it comes to like that word.
Yeah.
They get so offended when like somebody says that word, but it's like, but Future says it, so I can say this word, and it's like,
Yeah.
it just shows the lack of respect.
That's facts. It's literally just boundaries. That's what it is. Like, it's boundaries. If you grew up with somebody and you respect them, I feel like you would never want to hurt them. And that word hurts us when other people say it. So I feel like it's just respect and boundaries.
I think it's partially our fault though, because we make the word cool. We put it in all of our songs. We let people say it at our concerts, and then we expect them not to say it. It's like you can't give a person addicted to crack and then tell them not to say it when you've told them, hey, this is good crack, here, have it. You can't
Why we
do
gotta
that.
use crack?
I don't know.
Crack.
It was just the first thing that came to my head, but I think we have a role to play in that. So if we want them to stop saying that word, we should also stop saying it. But I don't think it's gonna stop because it makes money. So
I'm on the fence because when the Gina Rodriguez situation happened, I had that thought because I'm trying to think of it from all perspectives. I'm like, we saying it, but then I like really sat and I was like, why can't we have something? Why can't it just be ours? Like, why does it have to be, okay, you guys say it, so why can't we say it? It's a lot of stuff black people don't get to have in America in general. We can't do certain stuff. So why can't we have one word? Why is it such a big deal? So, like, I feel like we should be able to say it, and they should have enough respect to not say it.
Right.
Like, that's just my opinion for it. So, but I get that perspective too, because like if you're gonna be against something, then why are you saying it? But it was used as something to lift up black people when they first, it was supposed to be, okay, this is what they used to say to us, but now we're giving empowerment behind it. This is how we're using it now. So I feel like they should just let us have it. That's just.
I think when it comes to like, can we just have one thing? It goes all the way back to slavery, all the way up to now. Like white people have never wanted us to just have something. Like they've always wanted to own us in one way or another. Like it also ties into the whole respecting. Like they just can't let, even if like some of them do, like they as a collective can't just let us be us. Like let us just have our stuff and they have their stuff, and not say like we got to be completely separate. Like this is mine and this is yours. But it's like you said, like we can't just have the one thing. And I think it really just stems all the way back to like, they've always wanted to own us in one way or another, and so they're not going to let us have this one thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know how to word it, but basically, I was at work and my manager, I said the N-word. He was like, don't say that here. And I was like, I can't say it because you can't say it? Like, no. And he was like, no, that's not why. That's a bad word. I was like, but you walk around here using the S word and the F word and everything else, but I can't say that. Like, I just think I don't know. I don't know what their problem is really.
I think it tempts them. Like if you say the word around them, it like tempts them.
But
like,
why do you feel some type of way about it? Like you shouldn't. Really, the originality of the word was to offend us. So why do you feel offended when we use it?
Facts.
I also have a huge problem with the same people who want to say the word will be the same people silent when they want to use that word, but they don't want to, stand up for the people to whom that word pertains. So, like, I got a guy at work who loves to beg me for an N-word pass. That's the thing they like to do. They like to, hey, can I have an N-word pass? Come on, man. And you got to tell them, no, like, come on, man, I'm cool, right? Can I have it? But then when you talk about, like, racial issues, they be the first one on the other side.
Yeah.
So.
Or just the ones that just won't say nothing, we'll just hide in the shadows. It's like you want to embrace everything about black culture except black people in the culture, like, and it doesn't make sense. I think we just cooler than them. They just want to be us. They want to be us in every aspect except the color.
Yeah.
Even the color.
Oh, even the color, because the foundations, and it's just, even the color.
That goes into our topic of the month, which is racism and colorism.
Ooh, that's a segue.
Yeah,
Wow.
So I feel like we've already talked about this, but the first question is, does racism and oppression still exist in America?
Most definitely.
Very much so.
Yeah, like, we've been over that. But we can also talk about just the relationship between people of color and the black community. So I feel like a big thing to talk about this, recently 2 black young boys were killed by a Mexican father because the young boy was dating his daughter and he came to pick her up, and I guess he didn't want her dating the black boy, and he shot them dead, him and his cousin dead. So I feel like we glamorize this relationship between black people and people of color, and yes, there is a relationship there and we can relate on many levels, but there's still hatred with the black people in all communities. Like, it's not just white and black, and I feel like recently it's been like, okay, people of color, but we're not like focusing on how black people are hated in all races. So
I think it's crazy because, like, I keep saying it's crazy, but it is crazy. But like, I seen like a picture with like a sign that said like no black people or Mexicans and stuff. So like we were all discriminated against, but like still we don't stick together because like Mexicans really hate black people. Like there's some cool Mexicans, but like they don't like black people either. And I feel like all races really stick together. Like white people stick with white people, the Asian people stick with the Asian people. Like that's just natural. But black people are the only people who really don't support each other. Like at the nail salons, it's all Asians that's working there. You know what I mean? And like, for example, this restaurant in KC, I don't know if you heard of it, GJ's. Like it's an Indian restaurant. They make chicken, but like it's all Indians. Like they're all cousins. They all work there together. But like black people are really the only race that don't stick together and want to help each other out. Like all the other races, I feel like always stick together, but we don't.
I feel like that has a lot to do with our history in slavery because they put us against each other, and it's hard to escape from something that's so deeply rooted in us. Like just colorism itself, like, you know, people of a lighter pigment weren't were able to be in the house and do jobs like that, but people of a darker complexion was in the yard and picking, and then they just putting us against each other. And I feel like we are trying our hardest to fight against that, to, you know, lift each other up. But I feel like that's something that's gonna take time, and I feel like that was on purpose. Like it's something that they planned for us to be against each other, and that's why it's so important for us to lift each other up and, like, you know, give each other advice, give each other jobs, mentor each other, be nice to each other, encourage each other. So I definitely agree with that.
White people ran the biggest scam this world has ever seen. They took us from where we were, put us against each other, but they did it so deep to where it does still last today. And I do, like you said, like we do see like the people trying to build each other up now, but I feel like it's just so deeply rooted in the black community of like, when you make it, you finally get out. I feel like people feel like not only do you get out the hood, you get out of like the black community. I feel like they start to support everybody but black people. They start to go to the name brands, or these brands that don't even mess with you. Like we was talking about the Gucci band, like people that don't even fool with you, and you striving to buy this stuff compared to like Nikki. That's probably a bad name. I don't know. Let's say Hanna making purses, they fire, but instead of you going to buy Hanna stuff, even though her stuff is cuter than the designer name brand, you want to go buy the name brand because of the name. And black people are just so big on focusing on stuff outside of ourselves, and other cultures are so big on building themselves up, like you said, and I feel like it does stem all the way back from history. And I see it now. Like people are trying to support, like buy black businesses, support black businesses, all that. Like you see it, but it's only making a difference on social media so far. Like I don't see the big, like you're not seeing many storefronts opening. And you haven't seen any like big chains like pop up like Gucci or nothing like that, like from a black owned business. And I feel like not only are we oppressed by ourselves, but we also got societal oppression on top of us. So it's a lot of things for us to overcome, and we do see the progression, but I just feel like it's gonna take a while.
Yeah. So I feel like we all know what colorism is, but the question is, what is colorism and how does it affect the black community? Have you guys like ever experienced colorism yourself?
But
that was
obviously, but everybody thinks, I don't know what y'all thought I was, but like a lot of people think I'm white just because I'm very light skinned, like Mexican or something like that. But like, I mean, I am white kind of, but I don't know. I feel like people, some may like, it depends. Like where I grew up, I was, I don't know, welcomed, I guess you could say, because like I was raised around black people, I was raised in the black community, whatever. But like maybe coming to college or something like that, like the black community may look at me like, is she really black? You know what I mean? Like, so that could be like a way that I face colorism.
I find it like interesting and like very respectful that you are willing to acknowledge the fact that like you will say like I am white. Like a lot of people like that are mixed like to choose one side or the other and completely throw the other side away. Like I used to live in Downs my freshman year, and this girl, she was mixed. She was darker than you, and she tore it down. She was not black. Like she would be in the elevator with us, and she would be looking at us like we were straight dirt. Like me and Micaiah, and we just used to be like, girl, we just trying to go to the same floor as you gone. Like we, like no one liked her, and she was in a white sorority. Like, and not to say there's anything wrong with that. Like, I don't think not embracing white culture. I really don't think they have a culture, but like I don't think like really associating with white people takes your blackness away. But like the people who literally try to act as if they are not black are the ones I feel like I don't have respect for. Like the people who can acknowledge like same like I don't be out here just be like, oh, I'm mixed, but like cause my dad like he don't really look.
Girl, like, I did not even know you had Puerto Rican.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't really look mixed, so I don't feel the need to go around and be like, oh, I'm mixed. My mama told me when I was little, like when she first told me, she was like, your dad is white and Puerto Rican, but you black. I said, all right. I was like 6 years old. I said, all right, well that's that. I never really thought about none of that. I do know like what I am, but I've never really just been like, oh, I'm mixed. But I can appreciate the fact that you can acknowledge both, because I don't personally like the people who like. I mean, the ones that are like, I'm black, forget the white side, I'm less angry at than the ones who are like, I'm white, forget the black side. But like, it's still a respectable thing when somebody can acknowledge like that they are both.
I'm not gonna lie, I really don't acknowledge it a lot. Like I said, I don't really mess with my white family.
I mean,
so, like, most of the time I do say like I'm black, but I'm not white.
Yeah.
Or I just say I'm mixed. Like that's that. I'm not white.
I feel you for saying that though, because in my opinion, if you got a drop of black in you, black,
Yeah,
especially
right.
to the police. So
Like, you're black. At the end of the day, you're black. Like,
Yeah.
you're black. So here I am, black.
Colorism is something that affects everyone that is not white. I personally believe that, not the same way it does black people. Like black people go through everything the worst, in my opinion. But like colorism, like discrimination based on the color of one's skin, is something that you see everywhere in the world. But we the best.
I feel like when I was younger, I definitely experienced colorism like very badly. Just growing up, like having a darker complexion was not a good thing. But I feel like now it's definitely being more accepted. You know, like black girl magic, like black men like having a dark complexion, like that's very attractive. Black women having a darker complexion is very attractive. But when I was growing up, it was not that way at all. Like it was very like light skin, red bone. Like that's like what was beautiful. And I personally like just experienced like people like, okay, for example, my mother is very light, very like, she's like your color, but she has a yellow undertone. And like it would be times we would go out and my best friend is light skinned, and we would go out and they would be like, wow, your best friend looks like your mom's daughter, not you. And I'm like, wow, that hurts. Like that hurts my feelings. Like why would you say something like that? Or I had a guy like when I was younger that literally slid into my DM, like was trying to get with me, And then he was like, we was like on FaceTime or something, and like we had been talking for like weeks, and he was like, we was talking and out of nowhere he was like, I wish you were lighter.
Dang.
Like
Oh
literally,
my God.
like
What?
yeah, like, and I feel like people kind of no, but that was such a thing that I feel like we forget about that because it's so accepted now to be natural.
But it is very new.
Yeah,
like it's only been like the past few years that it's been really accepted, like really embraced.
Yes, and it's just now getting to the point where it's really embraced, because even when it was first on social media, you would see it on social media, but in real life in schools, people were still being bullied for having a darker complexion. And like I said earlier, that really just goes back to slavery. Like that is so brainwashed in our heads to, you know, want to be a certain complexion, or not even just like complexion, just features, like not having like a wide nose or like stuff like that. Like my mom literally told me, like when this is not funny, so I don't know why I'm laughing, but she told me like when she was younger, like she has like a wide nose, and she would like go in the mirror and like pinch it like this to like see how it would be to have like a more slender nose. So I just feel like we have to really like push acceptance all the way through, like all the way through. Just like, you know, light skin too, dark skin. Like it shouldn't be like a side. We should just all be equal. So that's my opinion on it. Is that it?
I thought you were
Now you
saying
started to me.
Going back to what you was kind of saying about how, you know, recently you just kind of changed as far as the colorism, more like the black grammatics being more embraced more. Like, you know, like kind of thinking about like my grandmother, how she kind of grew up in back in maybe I don't know, the 40s, 50s maybe. She was from South Carolina, so like, you know, technically the South is like, you know, a little bit more strict about these type of laws and stuff about how, you know, black people are, and just her being black in her own community, she was kind of, you know, experienced this colorism because she's a lighter complexion. Like I was saying in our last episode, or with the last recording, she's kind of more Hanna's complexion. So like she kind of she definitely experienced how being called what's the word half breed. She was being called half breed all the time just because she had a lighter complexion. Her brothers are darker, like my complexion and stuff like that. So, you know, like it's just like kind of, you know, crazy kind of think of how it kind of shifted back and forth to being more accepting or less accepting, and now it's more accepting. It was more accepting. Now it's just in general like everybody's more accepted. Like it's just weird how the trend kind of went from all over the place, you know, to how it is now. So.
I hope this trend stay.
Yeah.
I was not a fan. I really do think it's gonna stay, because I feel like it's been like a progression. Like way back, it was like light skin, and then dark skins was like either like made fun, like they made fun of, like they, and then it kind of got to this. It was like a comparison period. Do y'all remember? It was, I can't tell you the year, but for a little while it was like light skins versus dark skins, like, and that's all you would see, like all up and down, like for a good few years, like 2 or 3 years, and then now I think we're starting to move into a period of like whenever I see somebody still with that mindset, like they'll tweet something and it's already somebody done quoted them and be like, I can't believe we still have these views in 2019. Like I can definitely see that it's progressing into like both sides are accepted. Like people are trying to be more, because I feel like the black community as a whole is progressing. Like everything we've been talking about so far, when it talks about like trying to support black businesses, like everything like that. And I feel like when it comes to colorism too, like that we are trying to be more accepting of each other. Because I feel like black people are becoming more, I hate the word woke, but like black people are trying, like they're becoming more woke. Like they're seeing that like us going against each other is not helping.
Now we're going to get into some events that we have coming up. Make sure that you're on the lookout for the winter clothes drive. You can reach almost every black organization on campus if you want to donate to them.
So coming up on the 8th, which is here in a couple of days, we have the first resource mixer, so make sure that you're there.
Alright, so coming up on the 11th of November, we have the BSU Sip and Color, so make sure you guys come out and support.
Yes, that sounds lit. Next we have the Nesby, is that how you say it, Nesby? Okay, Friendsgiving, and that's on November 26th.
Then on the 25th, we have the Zeta Thanksgiving on a budget, so that sounds pretty good.
They can cook.
No, facts. They can.
Definitely cook. Make sure you bring 2 canned goods. I think that's what they asked for.
And to segue, in honor of Thanksgiving, what's your guys' favorite dish?
Macaroni and cheese, only if they made right. Like the baked ones with the cheddar in it, and like that's the best one.
I really don't know. I don't know, honestly.
Same. I love everything. I don't have a favorite.
I like collard greens.
I like cabbage. I like cabbage.
Why was that so
I
funny?
don't like cabbage.
I love cabbage.
Put some Tabasco on.
My
Not
granny
Tabasco, not
dressing.
Tabasco.
That's
Louisiana,
my
that's what I'm
dressing.
gonna say. I'm tripping.
Dressing?
My granny's dressing.
Oh, her
Not
granny's.
my dressing. My
Her
granny's
granny's dressing. No, dressing is fire though. I ain't had your granny's, but it's fire. Okay, the next question is, what are you the most thankful for? You can start anywhere.
I would say I'm most thankful for the opportunities I have every day, because a lot of people don't have the same opportunities, and they're easily taken for granted. Yeah.
I'm thankful for God, of course, and just the opportunities, like as she was saying, just the being fortunate enough to have opportunities, especially even just Black Talk alone, is having this platform to be able to speak out about issues, especially from the Black community. Also I'm thankful for family as well.
I'm thankful for God, because without him I have nothing, so that's what I'm the most grateful for.
Excuse me. I'm thankful for opportunity, but most importantly, opportunity that's been provided by my parents. They sort of carried me, especially like as I'm transitioning into being an adult. It's a little bit difficult at times, but they carried me. They also helped me like run my business and stuff like that. So.
Mine is real similar to Gabe's. I'm real thankful for God, of course, and then I'm thankful for my family for sure. They're real supportive, and I know that like other people don't have the same opportunities that I do when it comes to my parents, because like they pay for like my school. Like I don't really have to. They pay my rent. Like I don't have to. I work, but like that's just for like my personal expenses. So I'm thankful for them. I'm thankful for my boyfriend too. I'm sure you're gonna watch this.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Black Talk. This is our last episode of the semester, and it's been so fun connecting with you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
See y'all.
Bye.